It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Jackson and they can do to what's the I hit by 10. Oh Hello everyone, welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast Baseball Talk. Appreciate you being with us. Always powered by our good friends over at Game 7 Baseball. Game7baseball.com. If you haven't registered your team, it's early. We all know that. But it's never too early to kind of start looking at some tournaments, what's going to be, get your schedule, start thinking about what you got going on, and you go over to Game7Baseball.com like that. And I don't know, man, it just popped in my brain. Isn't that terrible? Anywho, go over there, check it out. A lot of great stuff all around the Midwest. Also, got some stuff, our Super 7 series that we are doing here with Game 7 Baseball. We take 7 tournaments. We're going to be at all these. We're going to be down in Springfield. We'll be at Ballparks of America this year again, and right here around the metro area. So we're looking forward to it. Our Saturdays at the park, great interviews. We give away, or we bring out the baseball cards. We check the knowledge of these young players and their trivia knowledge. It's fun. It is fun. It's a challenge sometimes, but there's some kids out there that got the history going on, and dad's over there trying to give them signals to. It's fun. We have a good time. We got some cool stuff coming up. We look forward to it. Always on Sundays, our 14U championship live streams, our Super 7 Scholarship Award piece is going out. So we're looking forward to a fun season, as always, with our good friends at Game 7 Baseball. If you want to support us, please subscribe. If you like this, we appreciate it. Subscribe. That helps. Hit the like button because that helps the algorithms and all the stuff going on here on the tube. We appreciate that. You can also follow us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Youth Baseball Midwest. You can follow us on X at YBM_cast. We appreciate all those things. And we hope you are enjoying Youth Baseball Midwest and YBMcast. To my right, joining us today is the head coach from over across the river in Illinois, from Father McGivney High School, Coach Erwin. Coach, appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited
Absolutely.
to be here.
Yeah. We had you on, gosh, it's been a minute now. Right?
Yeah, it has. August?
I think it was.
Yeah, August.
It's been way back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, appreciate you driving across, coming over. I like having you. We do a lot on our call link, our Prime Sports call link. I give a shout out to our folks at Prime Sports. Bat Demo Day.
Yes.
Is this Saturday over at Fenton at the Ocello, 1550 Ocello Drive. If you're looking for a new bat, you can go test them out. It's Bat Demo Day. Everybody will be there, from Rawlings to Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, Soldier. I'm going to leave somebody out. Warstick, Easton. Is it? I don't have it on the screen. Oh, he's got it on the screen. Drew. So read that. Drew put it up on the screen. There you go. Thank you, Drew. I'm like, I don't see it, Drew.
I don't either.
So we have our screen here in front of us, and it's not there. But nonetheless, there it is. So make sure you come. We're gonna go check out some bats.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're going to spend some money on a bat, you might as well try it off, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially as much money as you got to spend nowadays.
Right? They're not bats anymore. They're weapons anyway. So I mean, the way these guys swing the bats, holy cow!
Can you call them metal bats anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know if there's any metal in them anymore. Is there?
No, more like a trampoline bat.
Oh, and I remember way back in the day, one of the first ones when my son was little, it was that Rawlings Prodigy. And it sounded like it just pinged, and it was a launch pad. That's all it was, man.
You could have a terrible swing. You hit it right, it's gone.
That's right.
It's like, oh, look at my son. No, that's not good.
It's not good. But he's crushing the baseball.
That's right. That's right. Give it a couple of years.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, there's some hot bats. And, they were supposed to have calmed them down, the new huge. But I think they just figure it out. They just keep working the technology.
Yeah.
Some of those bats, man, it's just crazy.
I think you're right. The sound is so crazy, right? So, and the difference in the sound between the bats, I find that fascinating, right?
Mm-hmm.
A new bat comes out. I'm always interested in what it sounds like.
Right.
And some of them, they fit the guys better, and some guys really love this bat, and it jumps off. And I'm telling you, they grab a different bat, and it just doesn't. They've gotten really good, at making sure they're safe.
Yeah.
To some extent, right?
To some extent.
But also making sure the performance is there for sure.
Well, it's just, and I understand. I know we want to keep it as safe as possible, but really, you get in the batter's box and you got somebody throwing at you. No matter what the speed is,
Yep.
It's not really a safe act.
No.
Then the other person is swinging a stick to hit that ball back at you. That's not really a safe act. No. So I mean, in one respect, I know we always talk about safety. Well, just the act itself is not real safe.
No.
So we do what we can.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just what it is. So if you put yourself in harm's way, sometimes it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And that was always the thing with me, with my son. He pitched a lot, and that was always the thing that you just push that aside. And he got hit a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had some comebackers. He had good reflexes, so he defended his position well, but he got a couple in the shins,
Well, I think when we all look at it, we're trying to make it as safe as possible, right? But the worst I've ever seen is always the batter getting hit by a pitch in the face or in the head.
Yes.
And that hasn't changed.
No.
Right? There's nothing you can do besides better helmets and safer helmets. But that part will always be the worst, in my opinion. Right?
Agreed.
Is somebody getting hit in the face with a ball that's being pitched, right?
Right.
So that's super dangerous.
And because I think the odds are higher in that respect. We saw a few years ago a young man took a line drive, a pitcher, and whatnot. It was tough, broke his orbital bone and stuff, but came through it good. And one of the things I like about this, because it's youth baseball, and this was like 13U, but it was a group that I've known for quite some time. Coach Gerard, shout out to Coach Gerard. I haven't seen him in a while, but it was his team. They were so gracious. When the kid come back, he'd gone to the hospital. They bought some gifts and whatnot, and they really, because in the end, it's a game, and everybody was glad that the young man came through that, and there was no other damage other than, just a broken bone.
Sure.
And so that's all the positive, because it is a dangerous game.
Yes.
It is.
Yep.
And by nature, most sport has its share of.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got there, but there it is.
Yeah.
We're talking about bats.
Yeah,
that's why. You start swinging a stick at somebody, it's inherently dangerous.
Different directions.
Oh, mercy. So, but we're here. We're going to talk some Illinois baseball. I'm getting to know this a little bit more now. I've been, I got to give a shout out to the Illinois high school baseball state, the IHSA.
Yep.
Yeah. The website last year, it was not good.
Yeah,
this year, it's really good.
It's really good. They did a really good job with it. And that's been coming for a while. But I like it. I like the layout. I like the new look to it. The playoffs are easier to find. You can quickly get to what you need to get to, and love it. So
yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to the high school association over in Illinois. That was fantastic. When I looked at it, I was like, man, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to do a lot more research, find information, and do. So it's helped me.
Sure.
Especially conferences and things of that nature. So, and understanding that, because it's tough to find information about high school baseball. It's tough enough to find about colleges sometimes, but high school baseball, and how much time do you actually have to just put into a website, putting information out and whatnot? I'm sure you don't have a secretary.
No. Nope, I don't. I wish I did.
Do I have an administrative assistant that can help me with this, please?
No, that's funny.
I mean, honestly.
I have a guy on staff that loves the stats,
Yeah.
so it really helps. Coach Dorgan is unbelievable at updating everything. So for me, that's awesome. I love a guy that just loves putting the stats everywhere, and Coach Dorgan's awesome at it. So I give it all to him. He said, Coach, I got it. I'm like, perfect.
Folks, we got Coach Erwin here. If you don't know, Father McGivney High School has only had a baseball program we talked about since 2019, right?
2019, yes.
And that was the first JV season, correct?
That was first varsity season.
First
they
varsity
had a
season.
JV season prior to that, but first varsity season was in 2019.
So the success you guys have had, I think, and I don't care, you can say private or public, doesn't matter, that you've had the success you've had so far is really unprecedented in my opinion. You don't see schools, especially whether it's private or public, coming into that and winning at the level. And it didn't start off that way.
No.
But that you're able to, I think how many state championships? 2?
We've been to 2 state championship games, yes, since 21.
And you won one, correct?
No, we didn't. We lost both of them. But thanks for reminding me.
Okay. No, my bad. I missed that. I thought you'd won the one.
No,
so.
we did. We lost both. We lost this past one. This past year we lost on the walk-off.
Yeah.
Got walked off in the 7th inning. And then in 21, we played, which was my first year at McGivney. First playing season at McGivney. We lost in the state championship game again. So 4-2. So lost that game.
But your first varsity year, you're in the state championship?
Yeah, that was I've been very blessed. And when I say that, I mean that the buy-in from the kids. I got lucky, and I say this really kind of in a weird way. So 2019 was the first season they won 4 games. I wasn't the coach there. I got there in August of 19, and I say this was from a program installation standpoint, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
COVID canceled the year, so in 2020 we didn't have a season. But I got a chance to learn the kids, on Skype and talking on the phone and all the different, just to learn who they were, and talk with them on the phone and figure out what they wanted to do and if they wanted to, play ball at the next level, just really kind of figure out who the kids were. So I did that because, we were all kind of not doing much, and I wanted to keep them engaged as much as possible. And that group of seniors that year, and it ended up being the 21 class, so not the 20 seniors, but the 2021 seniors, they just bought in. Everything that we were talking about, what we wanted to do, how we wanted to install it, what our identity wanted to be.
Yeah.
And we had a chance to do that for on the phone, via Skype, those type of things through 2020. And then when we finally got together, it kind of took off. I mean, all the stuff that we had talked about came to fruition. I was sending them videos of different things, different drills. And so, we started installing what we called our program and what we wanted to do and who our identity was. And they bought into it, and they bought into it with the force that I've never really experienced before. I mean, being a former college coach and high school coach too, I've never really seen a group of guys buy into something so passionately. And then they just led from then on. That we had a really good group. That 21 class, we had a good group of sophomores, a really good group of seniors, and then sprinkling of players throughout the program. But then we got to 22, and those guys graduated, but the next group of seniors didn't take their foot off the gas. We had a wonderful year. We've won 30 plus games for 5 years in a row now. And we've only lost, I think, 15, 17 times in 5 years.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I want people to understand you were class 1. I know we're going to get to, you're going to bump to class 2 this year, but you've been class 1. It's a small school. What's the enrollment at your?
So our enrollment now, when we first started, was way different, but our enrollment now is about 325.
So that's still not a lot.
No, because we started at like 214
right
the first year we went to the state tournament.
And so how many kids you usually have come out for baseball?
Now, we've gotten to the point now where about 40 kids, like
Okay,
38
that's
to
pretty
40
good.
kids. Right. But the first year we
still.
had 17.
Oh my God.
You know, we had 18, 17, 18 kids.
And so, you know, looking at this, and we were talking before we started the show here, you're not just playing class 1 schools. And especially I think it's interesting when you're on that side, when you're in a metro area, to travel to play smaller schools could get real difficult. So you're definitely punching above your class, just playing around the area too, correct?
Yeah, I think that was, you know, the first year I would tell you that in 21, we were playing schools that I wasn't familiar with. Just they were small, and I wasn't familiar with some of the small, but we wanted to play them because we wanted to figure out who we were going to see in the state tournament, who we were going to see in the playoffs. And so we were playing different teams from kind of all over. Then we got bumped to 2A because we went to the state tournament for 2 years. And then we did
those championship points, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then last year, you know, we were 1A. But what we started to do is, you know, well, we're not going to go travel all over the place. We had a lot of great baseball teams in the Metro East and over here in St. Louis, right? So we just took the mantra of, we don't really care who we play. We don't care where it is, who it is. Let's just play ball. And that's kind of that mantra we kind of ran with after that first couple of years is just, you know, so we would play, even as a 1A school, we were playing 4As, or over here in Missouri, we're playing 5As, and anybody in between. And yeah, it got us better quick.
It will, right?
Yeah,
quick and in a hurry. And I think it's interesting because when you talk, and you're not the only one, we talk with class 6 coaches, you know, class 4 coach, the one thing that is common is that thought process. You know, it doesn't really matter the class. We just got to play good quality competition.
Yes.
And that's what it needs to be, because you're not going to get better just beating up bad teams.
Correct.
You got to play good quality competition. Now, will you have teams? You know, it is what it is. We all understand. So you got to, do you set up your schedule to where you think, you know, we need to play this level of competition?
I think I look at programs, you know, when I look at, you know, because you know as well as I do, there's some really well-coached programs out there. And
Absolutely.
There's some really great, talented programs out there, and they're not necessarily the same.
Right.
And so I don't care what class they are. I want to push us, you know, our team and McGivney to compete against the best we can. Also understanding that we have to gauge who we're playing, right? So last year we played some really, really good, you know, we were 1A last year, and we played some really good 1A schools because I knew we were going to potentially meet up with them deep in the playoffs, or at least somebody who played them deep in the playoffs, so we could gauge, you know, where we were at, how deep we could go. And then, you know, anybody in between, really. I mean, the bigger schools are just so much deeper than we are.
Right.
And honestly, we started it at the younger levels. You know, our freshmen, they're trying to find another school the size of us that has a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team is really, really difficult. So our what we call fresh soft team, you know, we play all the Southwest Conference schools over in Illinois, which is your Edwardsville, Collinsville, Belleville East, Belleville West, O'Fallon. That's all they play. And I think it sets it up, that expectation early in our program is this is who we're going to play, and this is how we're going to play those teams. And, you know, we take lumps, and hopefully we give some too.
Yeah. So last year, you know, you guys make that run. What is it about this year? I know you got 4 committed seniors. You got 3 of the top 2027s. One of them's already committed. What is it about this group? You know, that doesn't always equal success.
No.
So what is it about this group that you think can maybe take you over the top? And not to mention, you get into Class 2 and there's some really good teams out there again this year on the Class 2 level.
It's they're loaded, especially in our area. It's very top heavy, and it's loaded in 2A. But from our team standpoint, I think, I talked to our group, and I love our senior class. Love them. They're great. I loved last year's senior class too.
Right.
They were great. And I think I say both of them in conjunction because they were super close. Last year's senior class and this senior class, they had a very good bond, right? So I don't think we're doing anything different. And it's I use this term with the guys all the time. We don't need to cut a different path. We just need to extend the one we're on.
Right.
So there's no need until it doesn't work anymore. Then we need to make a different path and do some things differently, right? But the path we're on, I think, works. I think the identity of who we are wins and produces good humans, good young men, but also produces good baseball players that are succeeding at the collegiate level. So this year's senior class, I really like. Isaac Wendler he's just a really good player. The kid's a big, strong, physical player that, he's committed to University of Illinois Springfield. Then Ben Sink, different kind of player, very, very good, speedy guy, also going to Illinois Springfield. So those two guys were captains last year for us, and they are captains again this year. And then we have a really good middle infielder. We got a couple of them, but we have a good middle infielder, Ty Etchison, is going to John Wood.
Oh, yeah.
But we got to replace, and I told him this, he's not replacing anybody, but, we had Drew Kleinheider who goes over to SLU and, competing for a starting spot over at SLU. And Ty's a very good player. He was extremely good for us last year, very valuable, and playing multiple different positions for us. And now he's going to settle in, as long as things go well, he's going to settle in as our shortstop this year and also pitch for us on the mound. And then you got Scotty Phelps, who, caught for us last year, and we'll catch some for us this year and maybe bounce around to third and first and could be all over the place for us. But a left-handed hitting guy, a left-handed hitting catcher that understands back control, understands what to do with it. And then you got Omar that you mentioned. Omar is he's a pretty special player.
It's a different kind of level there, isn't it?
He's a different level kid. Even when he came in,
I remember seeing him over at the Sports Barn as a freshman.
Yeah,
and he was impressive then.
He's just, his commitment level to being better is what impresses me, and all of our guys have it. But for him to have it at a young age, that freshman year where he was that hungry to be on this, because he started for us as a freshman, and that was tough to do because that team was really good. So I was super impressed that he beat out a senior to start, and I was super impressed with what he did. And then last year was a really strong year for him. He's a little dinged up. His freshman year got hurt late in the season, which didn't help us in the playoffs. We lost in the super sectional. And then his sophomore year, which was last year, was really able to put a good season together and then finish that season, right? So a little bit more wear and tear from a high school season. It's not like select ball where you get to kind of take the week off and then go back on the weekend. It's so for him, it was a grind as they would say, right? But I like our team a lot. There's some guys that, are probably not household names yet. Like Aiden Willis is going to be a monster for us on the mound this year. And he's not necessarily a household name. Jack Rolvis is kind of one of those names that's up and coming. He's really getting stronger and bigger, and he's going to be one of our middle infielders. I like him a lot. He's a junior. So I think we're putting good pieces together. Now, you mentioned we jumped to 2A. Is it harder? Well, I don't know. That's
still just baseball.
Yeah,
right? You still got to play.
You still got to play, and you still got to do well.
Base pass didn't change.
No. Did the teams get stronger? That would be disrespecting some of the teams that we played that were 1A in the playoffs that were very strong and could beat a lot of, and did, right? Now, does that mean I'm disrespecting any other program? Absolutely not. We respect every program the same way when we walk into a game. I don't care if we got 150 kids in the school or they got 4,000 kids in the school.
The biggest thing is depth.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference. You put a guy on the mound, your dude on the mound, and go play Edwardsville, you got a shot to beat them.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. And I mean, and Coach Funkhauser is going to put everything together to beat us.
That's right.
We're very fortunate this past year. We got a game, a home and away, so not in the same season. Sorry, home at home with Parkway South. Love that program, right? They do a great job.
Matt
there.
Brown.
Yeah, Matt's just a phenomenal guy. And so we talked to each other last year, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come over?" We were supposed to play at their place, and rain bad. We found a turf field. They came over and played us, so we're going to play them this year at their place. And wow, what a great program, right? I mean, just a phenomenal way to run but so deep.
And they were in the Final Four last year,
right? And we very fortunate. We knocked them off last year at not our place, but a kind of a neutral site. But man, I was super impressed. I mean, they got a great program. I'm super excited to go. We may take one on a lump and get bounced on the head a little bit because I know he's got a lot of guys coming back.
Yes.
But that's what I want. Right? I want to be able to have Matt call me and say, "Hey, we'd love to play you guys again."
Yeah.
That
to me speaks a lot to your program.
Well, I appreciate that because I hope it does.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to call and say, "Hey, I go."
No, Parkway South can play whoever they want in a lot of respects. No offense.
No.
But and I don't mean that just to be, thrown, but they can. And especially, Coach Brown's done a good job with that program.
Yes.
He's got pedigree.
Yes.
He's been around, and that program's starting to do that. And they're in the, St. Louis Suburban Red Conference. It's a tough conference.
Sure.
There's plenty of people to play.
Yeah. He doesn't have to. I don't have to get that phone call, or he doesn't have to answer my phone call.
Exactly.
And and I think it does say a lot about our guys and who we are and how we play the game. Hopefully that's the lasting impression I want to leave. When I play an opponent, is for them to say that the kids are well coached and they're respectful and they get after it.
Well, because you're talking about a school in Missouri that's Class 6, and so I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, they're Class 1 in Illinois. Are they up for this? Are we going to get challenged? You can say what you want to, but that's the question.
Sure.
Right? Because do they have the depth? What is that? We don't know, looking at those things.
Yeah.
So that does speak well to your program, that you can go and compete at that level. And a Class 6 school from Missouri goes, yeah, we'd love to play. That shows well for what you guys are doing, what you're putting together as a program.
I appreciate that. I hope so.
And the other thing, I had this conversation this week with Coach Josenberger from Staley High School, and because he does a lot on the youth side, and I want to bring this in because I think this is an effective thought process, because you do work with a youth program on that side of the river as well. And one of the things that I think is so fascinating, we're talking about these kids and coming in. When you're on the other side of that and you're looking at the 8U through 14U, do we talked about what is the process and how are we preparing kids for high school baseball? Because I think we've done a disservice in creating this thought process that says, the 10, 11, 12U, man, what college do you want to go to? Well, wait a minute. You don't know if you're going to make your high school team. And a program like yours, these kids coming in, like you said, Omar, as a freshman, I don't care if you're playing in a high-level program that you can get on the field as a freshman. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It just is.
It is very impressive. It's not just from the ability to do it, right, but the speed of the game.
Yes.
Right? The how quickly it runs, the strength of the game, the strength of the players.
Physicality.
Oh, man. And so I think that those, you think you're fast at in eighth grade, and you're fast compared to other eighth graders.
Right.
But then there's a different level of speed, and he was able to acclimate himself very quickly to that level of speed. And what he was lacking in, we worked on it together. Hey, this is what we got to do to get better. And then that conversation comes in. You were alluding to it before. I have conversation with all my guys, and we sit down and we talk about do you want to play in college? And this is their sophomore year, right? So freshman, into their freshman, first part of their sophomore year. Now I've had a chance to evaluate them a little bit more. Do I have any idea at that point where they're going to go? No, I have no idea. But the point is, do you want to play? If so, where do you think you want to play? Not where I think, but where do you think you want to play? And so we have that conversation. And then it was, well, I'm not going to call anybody today, but what we need to do is, are you tracking for that? Is that what you want to do? What do you need to do to get to that point, right? And all kinds of, kids, there's answers from all over the spectrum, right? Of, I played LSU, I want to play, just all kinds of different things, but they have no idea. And I never tell them no, because
I understand. Yeah.
They have to understand what that takes. And then we generally, every fall, we try to do let's go to a college game, right? Just a local fall ball
I love
game,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And so this past year we took the team and we went to the SLU SIU game, right? That was at Grizzlies Park.
Yeah.
And so we were out there, and you just see the new freshmen and some of the sophomores are their eyeballs are this big, and they're like, holy cow, these guys are fast and they're big and they're strong. But it helps them to understand that game is even played at a completely different level. And it's, I think for a lot of them, it's shocking, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hadn't seen it. Go, just even go watch a Maryville.
Right.
An UMSL at this point, just locally here.
Sure.
That's Division II, and the speed of the game is beyond. I mean, you see, I'm looking at UMSL, and we follow them. Scott Ewell, the head coach over there, I like him a lot. He's posting about his pitching staff. It's 90 plus.
All of them.
And you're like, wait, so if you're going to go play Division II baseball at UMSL?
Right. Yeah,
how do you crack that?
That's a great point. And so Justin Terhar, our third baseman from last year, is at UMSL.
There you go.
And so, I've been talking a lot with him, hey, how's it going? How you doing? He's doing fantastic, which is awesome. But trying to get him prepared and ready that, we may have seen, I'm ballparking it, right? 3, 4 guys, 5 guys that threw 90. I don't know. It's just a ballpark.
Exactly.
But we saw it.
Yeah.
Did we see it regularly? No way. Right. Did we see it once a week? No. Are we seeing more mid 80s to upper 80s guys? Sure. Absolutely. Right. Sure. And the guy that hits 90 in the lab is not the guy that hits 90 on the field. Right. I mean, the lab 90 is different than the game 90. And if you can be game 90, that's pretty good. But can you be game 90 and throw strikes? Right. Yes. And so sometimes that's hard in high school, right?
Yeah.
Where you're still trying to figure out the velocity, where, these guys in college now, some of them have figured out 90 in strikes.
Right.
And if they can't, they're 90 a lot and not strikes, which is pretty hard to hit.
And, even in high school, if I can throw strikes at 86, 87, I'm going to be very effective.
Without a doubt. And that's so now you're getting the college of, because these guys in high school, they don't even have to throw something else, right? If you're upper 80s, low 90s, there's a lot of teams in high school that you can beat just by throwing a fastball.
That's correct.
And, and then you get the better teams, and now I got to mix something in. So I hope I was working my bullpens, right? Because, they can hit it. Now you got to, but consistently in college, if you can't throw, 3 pitches or sometimes even more, you're going to be in trouble. So so we talk about that, and where do you want to end up? And you see the game, and now you see the speed. And then the question comes again, where do you think you can play? And then and then they see some of our guys sign and go on, and they're like, well, wow, he's really good. And he went to this place. And so I don't know that I'm there yet. Well, yeah, but you're not a senior yet either.
Right.
So you got plenty of time to grow and develop. And what does that look like for you down the road?
How do you address this in especially with the changing of NC2A rules and, the new recruiting rules and stuff? How are you addressing that with your youth program? And you start talking to these, and how is that now trickling down?
Yeah, it has gained a lot more attention, right? Because all the parents want to, and it could be from a parent that has an 8U kid or a 10U kid. Mm-hmm. Wow, the conversations are getting really deep, really young,
Mm-hmm.
and we're very fortunate. So our what would be our 17U team, so seniors this year, I think we're up to 11 kids on the team have signed to go play, some sort of it could be JUCO Division 1, 2, 3, whatever it may be, but they're playing in college.
Mm-hmm.
And so that should be deemed as success.
Right.
I mean, I don't care what level you're playing at. I don't. There's not a lot of guys that get to do it. Right. And then be successful regardless of the level, I think should be celebrated, right? I mean, it should be celebrated regardless of what level they play in. So the conversations come up, hey, coach, man, we got 11 kids that signed off of the 17U team. How do we get there? Okay, well, sometimes it's more realistic of your 10-year-old team. Let's focus on the mechanics and what we need to do to get there first, right? Because ultimately, one of our coaches, we were talking about this very topic yesterday, and a 10-year-old dad came up and was talking. Coach Stover and I were sitting, talking, hitting with a kid, and comes, okay, so here's this kid. What do we need to do? How do we need to do it? And Stover looks over and he goes, does he trip all the time when walking through the house? Yeah, all the time. It's really weird. I'm like, because he has no body control yet. It wasn't digging on the kid. Every 10-year-old trips all over, right? So it's about having fun, but also about trying to help with the mechanics while having fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's how we address the younger kids, is making sure it still stays fun. Now, being involved in a program, I don't think it's challenging, but I get the question all the time.
Sure.
You're a high school coach. How do you got kids from all over the place. I don't care what color hat they wear in the summer. That's a different hat. Now, I'm going to try to beat you in the spring.
Yep.
And I, coach a lot
That's
of
competition.
Yes. And they should feel the same way. They should want to kick our doors in, right, in the spring. And that's
I'll see you in the spring, coach.
Exactly. And it's kind of a fun banter. Like, this is really cool. I coach a lot of kids that go to different high schools.
Sure.
Or work with them in some capacity. And, it's kind of that cool banter back and forth. And, we shake hands when we get to the park, and then it's all business.
That's right.
And then we shake hands when we leave. And I think that's a fun part. But I don't care what color hat they have on in the summer. The summer means nothing to me from a standpoint of where they go to high school. It has to do with, or where they're going to go to high school.
Sure.
It's all about making sure that they are developing in a way that that's very subjective, right?
I understand.
So, I have philosophies. Coach Brown has philosophies. Everybody has philosophies that are unique to their program. And so we want to try to give them the basics that gets them to the next level. And what does that look like? Well, it depends on what their attributes are, right? Are they a big kid, small kid, fast kid, power kid, and kind of look, and that could change in 2 years. Holy cow, right? I mean, you're the power kid as a freshman, and now you're the speedy kid as a senior.
Yeah.
And it happens.
Because you didn't grow and you got faster.
Yes. But I think that's the fun part. I mean, that's the part that gets me up. Like I always say I don't have to do this. I want to do this.
There's very few kids that are 6'4", 220 running a 6'5", 60.
Right.
That's very few.
Oh, very few.
You like that?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Right.
But that's few and far between.
Sure. Yeah. And, that's a really good point. That very methodology, right? So Justin Terhar, I'm going to use him because he was 6'4", was 220, and did run a 6'5". And so, but he didn't, throughout his senior season, he was, without giving too much up, right?
Sure.
He couldn't play high-end select ball. The family, they have 4 kids in the family and just couldn't afford to be in, Atlanta one weekend and, wherever, Ann Arbor the next weekend. And so a kid potentially gets missed, on that kind of thing. And it's not they could afford it. It's that they didn't want to do that. They had lived on a farm. They had family chores to do. And, I appreciated that. That's what I loved most about him is the work ethic that he had. But a kid like that, even that kid that is 6'4", is 220 and does run the 6'5", it's not a slam dunk the kid's going to LSU like we talked about before, right? It's not there. You got to be in the right place at the right time. So those conversations, I think, are important. To don't look too far ahead of what you're trying to do. Focus on being better tomorrow. And I know that's tough for parents. Parents want well, coach, okay, that sounds good. That's a good bedtime story, right? No, it's really the story. Like, that is the story, is you just get better tomorrow and focus on trying to be 1% better the next day, everything else should fall into line if the skill set continues to grow. And, that's hard.
Hey, Drew, did that sound a lot like the consistency that I hear from high school coaches, Coach Josenberger? I mean, you guys said the exact same thing differently. Exact same thing. It's perfect. And it's true, because what you said, I always believe if you can't lay the foundation for a 10-year-old, it's not going to work when he gets to high school.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just it's the basics of it, and teaching them how to run correctly, how to throw correctly. And I'm sure you see it. I always come back to these things because I love this piece of the conversation, because especially when coaches are dealing with the age groups down here, and then you're also a high school coach, because when I'm sure you've seen kids that come into the program in the high school and are just not quite functionally correct in how they throw and whatnot. And it's not really their fault. Nobody took the time to create those patterns of mechanics that help them understand what's the best way to throw a baseball. And then you're behind the curve in high school, correct?
Oh, so far behind the curve. And I think that's a really good point. It's not their fault. I think that's the piece that, a lot of kids, they don't get a chance to get filmed, or they don't see it, or they don't know what the right way is. And you're right. It especially nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. I'm an old guy now, right? So I don't even feel it, but everybody says that I am, so I just don't run with it.
Okay, fine.
Last time I was on the show, right? So,
it's tough, man. What are you gonna do? You got less.
I get a call. No, I was kidding. But when you look at it, it's so much more difficult for these guys to catch up, and I didn't have all these options for indoor facilities to hit at, or throw at, or field at.
Right.
So you just moved on to the next sport, and, it got cold, and the baseball's over, and you go on to something different. These kids, I don't know that they truly appreciate, all of them truly appreciate the options they have now to be able to do this for longer, and a whole lot longer. But it also gives you the ability to create way worse bad habits. Right. And without somebody watching, and everybody's on YouTube now checking out something. And again, not that anybody's wrong or anybody's right. There's plenty of ways to teach this game. It's how you want to teach it and how it fits in the philosophies. So we have to work really extra hard at trying to, what I would say, fix things. Or what we always say for our program, we're trying to find the way for the program to fit the kid. And so, I think we've done a really good job over 5 years of, we don't make cuts in our program.
Right.
None.
Right.
And we have, very fortunate to make 2 state championship games. Mm-hmm. But I've never cut a kid in our program, never. And if 50 kids come out next year, we're going to have 50 kids.
Right.
And so, some people are like, you're nuts. Because I can find a way inside of our program to make sure that person's successful. Because I think that baseball teaches us a lot of different lessons, some of which are not fun to learn, right? I mean, not everybody's going to start.
Right.
But, isn't that life in general, right?
How productive are you in the capacity in which you know what your role is? Can you accept that, and can you work to that level?
As long as we talk about it all the time, and we do from the very beginning. Now, we don't have football at McGivney, right? So we can do fall practices.
Sure.
And so we do. So there's some of this ironing out that we can get done early, and when I say early, in the fall. So when we look through this, and I think our school as a whole does a great job of teaching this philosophy of not everything is going to go right all the time. Right. You got to work hard for what you get. Sure. And sometimes you don't get what you want.
Right.
And so I think that bleeds over. It's from our school as a whole, and then bleeds into our program too. And inside of our program, you have a choice.
Sure.
Your choice is, here's what we're going to do. So we run our practices, what I would say, like, when I was a college coach. We run them like a very specific college practice. I don't send the freshmen here and the JV here and the varsity over here. We run everybody together. So when we're running an infield drill, it's everybody from that freshman to that senior starter potentially, or whatever, anything in between. Some of these kids can't do it because they're not skilled enough to do it.
Right.
And that's okay. But now they know what they need to do to be a starter at the varsity level. They see it every day. But more importantly, we're finding, how can I make that person, little Johnny, just as an example, and I don't have a Johnny, so just, but there's a parent going, okay, which one's Johnny?
Who's Johnny?
Yeah, right. But how can I fit little Johnny into the program? He's super fast. Okay, well, one of our pillars is stealing bases. We're pretty good at that. So maybe that's the only thing he does. Maybe he's a courtesy runner and steals bases, and he feels important. And the program helps him. He helps the program. He buys into it. And that's kind of what I mean, not just about the buy-in of the kids liking each other, but buying in those roles. If you don't get kids to buy in roles, forget it. It doesn't matter how talented you are.
I'm swiping 2 bags for you, Coach. You just punch me a ground ball, I'll score runs for you.
That's right.
Just that alone, you get an extra run a game.
Sure.
Because you got somebody who can do that.
Right.
It's valuable.
We're playing 2 years ago. The quick story. 2 years ago, we're playing in the sectional championship game, right? And we're playing, and one of my seniors who was a guy that was in and out of the lineup and a crucial part to what we do, but was one of the extra guys, right? He comes up to me, midway through the game. He's like, "Coach, pitch hit me. I can ground out to second base for you," because we had a guy on third with less than 2. I'm thinking, holy cow. He's buying into one of the pillars that we have, but he's asking me to pinch hit so he can ground out to second. How many times do you get that, right?
No,
and guess what he did? I'm like, you got it, Gerald. He gets in, he pinch hits, he grounds out to second, we score a run, we take the lead, we never look back.
Boom. You got to love that.
Yeah.
I can do that, Coach. Right. I'll get the run in.
Yeah.
You got to have that guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a productive out. And we've lost that thought process a lot in baseball with everybody trying to hit home runs.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, though,
yes,
because I love these conversations, but you guys play in the Gateway Metro
yes.
Conference.
Right.
That is Alton Marquette, Christ Our Rock, Metro East Lutheran, Maryville Christian. Am I missing somebody? I'm missing some. Althoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Belleville Althoff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in Belleville.
Yes.
Talk about this conference real quick a little bit. Alton Marquette it's Althoff.
Alton Marquette is one school, and Belleville Althoff is the other school. Yeah.
Okay. That's right. The Crusaders, they were 17-15.
Yep.
Marquette was 13-11. Christ Our Rock, Metro East Lutheran, Maryville Christian. Maryville Christian just started their baseball program. Is that correct?
Well, they didn't just start the program. They just were affiliated with the IHSA 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So they were running a program, but kind of running it in a different classification, different area. And then they didn't have enough. And so they did take a year off of varsity play and just played JV. And then last year, had a varsity team again. So that school is, it's a quarter mile from our school.
Yeah.
So it's just like right.
It's around the corner.
Yeah. So it's an all, from an Illinois standpoint, there's not a lot of them. It's an all parochial school conference. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So
I guess so. Yeah.
Right. So all private schools, not a lot of those, until you get up to like Chicago area, right?
Sure.
Where, usually the publics and privates are kind of mixed together in conferences.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the conference. I think it's super competitive, depending on the sport you're in and what you're doing. Some teams are known for some sports and others, Althoff won basketball, so state football championship 2 years ago and played in the state basketball championship the same year. One of the best running backs for Oregon this year is the kid that was a senior last year at Althoff.
Oh, wow.
And they had a kid go to Mizzou as well to play football, and I think he's getting some minutes too. I don't know them specifically, but so yeah, I like the conference. I think it's challenging. We play in baseball. We play them the same week, so you don't face the same.
Do you go
pitcher
home and
twice.
home?
Yeah, home and home.
Yeah.
So in the same week, which I like too, because
Yeah.
I think it shows a true champion, right? Because I'm not just saving my best guy for the best team, and then I'll face him 2 more weeks down the road, and I'll just throw the same guy again, right? So I think it shows the depth of the program. So I like him. It'll be interesting this year. So Alton Marquette got a new coach this year. So their coach retired. They have a new coach, John Senior. He was an assistant coach at Fontbonne. So, I'm sure he's got some really good philosophies he'll bring to the table. Justin Williamson at Althoff, longtime coach, newer coach to that program, but has been around that baseball program a long time. So he graduated a lot last year. I think it was like 16 kids.
Oh, wow.
That were seniors. So he has a young group, but I know he likes his group a lot. So and they'll compete with anybody. I mean, they'll play anybody. They'll compete with anybody. They went down to Memphis last year. Chrysler Rock went down to Memphis. They're a smaller school, so we're kind of naturally broken up. We have 2 divisions in our school, or in our conference. We have a large school division, a small school division.
Okay.
So, and we're obviously trying to grow the conference, so we'd like to, add other teams like a Mater Dei or something like that to the conference. So in the large school side of it, the 3 schools that are us, Marquette, and Althoff are 2A. And then the other 3 schools are 1A.
1A.
Yeah.
So, how many is it going to be just a parochial type scenario with growth, or does it matter?
No, I don't think it matters. It hasn't been before. So we rebranded when it used to be the Prairie State Conference.
Okay.
So when it kind of broke up and everybody went different directions, we rebranded it. I didn't have anything to do with it, but
I understand.
Yeah,
we get it.
It was rebranded, and the thought process initially was, let's have a parochial conference, but I don't know if it was done on purpose.
Sure.
Everybody else was kind of already committed to a conference. And then we had the whole shakeup, and over in Illinois where conferences were just kind of breaking up and moving and shifting. And
there's still a couple of moves because Muscuda is moving to Triad's moving to the Southwestern Conference.
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
And I think they'll probably, I don't know the specifics, they'll probably have divisions inside of that too. But yeah, I mean, our conference, the 2A schools in our conference are all in the same region. So, talking about 2A, so we will compete in 2A this year, which was fine because we play a lot of, most of our schedule, except for our conference schedule. And then the top 1A teams last year was all a 2, 3, 4A schedule. And it, didn't matter.
Right.
So, but, there's I think 2A is loaded. You got Teutopolis that went to the state tournament last year and got
Is it
second.
Sacred Heart Griffin?
Sacred Heart Griffin. Now they'll bump to 3A this year.
Will they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll bump to 3A, but tremendously good program, right? Yeah. Teutopolis, we played last time we were 2A in the sectional game and lost. I'm sorry, and we won. And then we played Columbia that had Vagley, who was freshman year at Kansas. And so Columbia is really good. Breeze Central is really good.
Yeah.
Marquette and Althoff and us in that conference. And then you go down to Teutopolis. I love St. Anthony. St. Anthony's out of Effingham.
Right.
They got a fantastic program, and they're really, really talented again. Maroa Forsyth. They're very
last 2.
Yeah.
I think they were second.
Yes, I think that's
last
right.
year.
Yeah.
Last year before.
Year before.
One of those 2.
Yeah, year before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very talented. We played them a couple years ago. Went up there and played them, and they beat us. It was a really good game though. So yeah, it's just the depth, right? You're gonna run into a dude, right? You're gonna run into a guy. The last time we were in 2A, we lost to Vagley, who was the freshman year at Kansas last year. But yeah, it was a fun game. I mean, we play Vagley, and our guy's throwing 93, Vagley's throwing 95 in a 2A sectional championship game, and you're like, holy crap! Now our guy went.
A heck of a game.
It was. There was thousands of people there. It was one of the most exciting games I've been a part of. I mean, our guy was going to Ole Miss. Their guy's going to Kansas. It was fun. I mean, that was big boy baseball. I mean, it was a good time.
Put your big boy pants on, fellas.
Yeah.
Can you hit this guy?
Exactly. I mean, you can't just go up there and take 3 times. He's not walking you. He's not going to hit you. So Yeah, but it was. I mean, Teutopolis is going to be. I think they're going to be loaded again. You know, I think they got a lot of guys coming back. So,
and one of the best mascots in the state.
Yeah,
the wooden shoes.
Right. It's great.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is great.
And then Freeburg.
Oh, yeah,
the midgets.
The midgets. Yeah. I think you should do a show on that in Illinois.
Oh, we're going.
Okay, because I think there's some fascinating mascots in Illinois.
The midgets.
Oh yeah.
Who thought that one up? And Freeburg's pretty good ball.
Yes.
Program too.
Oh, very good program. Now I think they'll still be in 3A, but they were in 2A when we went in 21.
Mm-hmm.
Freeburg was there, and I think they did. They won it in 2A.
Yeah.
And then got bumped to they're a public school, but their enrollment went up, and so they were right there on the edge anyway.
Gotcha.
So it had nothing to do with success factor.
Right.
Success factor.
That's only on the private school levels, correct?
Yeah, they call it non-boundary because there's a couple schools in Illinois, oddly enough.
It's like Missouri. Same thing.
There's a couple not weird schools. I'm sorry. There's a couple schools that are oddly non-boundaried schools that are public.
Mm-hmm.
So if you lived in, Edwardsville and wanted to go to school there, you could, and it's a non-public. I don't really know how.
Because it's the last few years, like Springfield Catholic down in Springfield, Missouri. They're probably I don't know. Their enrollment's either class 2 or 3, and they were playing class 5 baseball.
Yeah,
which is tough. I don't care.
Right.
They're still a good program. St. Francis Borgia down just in Washington. They're probably a class 3 enrollment, maybe class 4. They're playing class 6.
Yeah,
and I mean. You got to have some dudes to play class 6 baseball in Missouri.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they were a good baseball team.
Sure.
But, it just because of the championship point factor and all that stuff.
It's tough. I mean, I don't, we don't look at, I always say from my standpoint, asking about 2A, we don't overlook anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what class they are. We don't, because we were that guy. In 21,
right.
We were the guy that nobody knew who we were. Nobody knew our name. Nobody even knew our mascot. Nobody knew our colors. Like, who's coming to play us today? And I like that.
Right.
I like that because we snuck up on a lot of people.
So what is your mascot?
We are the Griffins.
Oh,
yeah.
Another Griffin. That's like Vianney.
Yeah.
Except they're the Golden Griffins.
They're the Golden Griffins, right? Yeah.
You guys are just Griffins.
Yeah, we're just Griffins. Yeah. It was funny because we played them at our place a couple of years ago, and there was a broadcast on television or a radio with it, and the broadcast kept kept calling us the Golden Griffins and them and it was hilarious. I got a kick out of it watching.
Nobody knows who's at bat.
Yeah, I know he's at. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what somebody called and said. I had no clue who was winning the game because they kept saying the Golden Griffins and they were talking about you and it wasn't you. And I'm like, I don't know.
We got to get this straight, boys.
That's right. Yeah. It's getting confusing.
The Metro Conference, the Gateway Metro Conference, folks. It's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it. And Coach Erwin, thanks.
Yeah, man. I love coming on here. Thank you very much.
I love the conversation. It's fantastic. I enjoyed a lot. We appreciate it. We're working hard. We're working to get our schedule, our live stream schedule. Want to get over. Love to get over to your place,
absolutely,
and live stream a game.
That'd be great.
And so you got to tell me, what your schedule's like,
I will.
And who might that opponent be?
Oh, we got some really good. I like our schedule this year. Yeah. I really do. It's going to be challenging, but we got a couple opponents that. We've kind of beaten over the last couple of years, and they've gotten pretty good. And I think they're,
love that.
Yeah, and so I'm interested this year on where our guys go with this schedule. But it's not at our place. But I love the Parkway South game. That's going to be.
I know.
When
you said that, I was like, "Ooh, that'd be."
Yeah.
Because we're doing a couple cross ones. We did this particular game. Oh, gosh, I think it was even before COVID. We went to Edwardsville, did Francis Howell in Edwardsville.
Yeah.
We're going back this year to Edwardsville to do that game. And then we're going back to Blazer Field for O'Fallon in Edwardsville. That's always a good one.
We got O'Fallon at home this year. Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
Oh, man. They
got some pitching.
They got some great players. They really
Mhm.
do. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy competing against them. They beat us last year.
Yeah.
Gave it to us after we beat them the year before. But they got a great program. We play Belleville East at home this year.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'd
We
be
play
fun.
Belleville West on the road. But the East game, O'Fallon game,
Phil East
there's some
might be fun. Yeah.
yeah.
I like that.
There's some good opponents in there, and I love it. I'm excited. I wish it was here, but I don't because we got a lot of work to do.
It'll be here soon enough, right?
Well,
That's what I always think. I'm like, my gosh, we were talking to Drew the other day, and we're looking at schedule, talking about our winter work. I'm like, my goodness, it's already November. We're in trouble. We got to get going.
Yeah, we're still in the middle of building the press box. We got a lot of work there, and hopefully it all comes together. But
And then you got to avoid the snowflakes.
I know. It's funny. Well, this year, the cool part in Illinois this year is the 1 and 2A schools have always started at the same time, but then ended a week earlier. So that way the state tournaments were different. They were staggered. Well, this year, all 4 classes are playing at the same time.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I always thought that was funny because as, in 1 and 2A, you're supposed to have, not as deep a rosters. You can play the same amount of games. Now I got to play with my non-deep roster more games in a week to get 35 in, where the bigger schools can play 1 more week and have to play 35. So I like the fact that we don't have to play 4 and 5. Like, we can practice more often this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited about what that challenge looks like.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Getting us out of some of these 4-game, 5-game weeks.
Yeah, because there's I was looking at the schedules when I'm looking at games and live stream opportunities. You guys are a full week past Missouri's schedule date, where they end. I think this year it's like on the 18th. It ends May 18th. You guys go through the 25th or something like that.
Yeah, well, for state tournament would be June. Last year was June 5th.
I just talking about regular season.
Oh, regular season.
Yeah,
1 more week.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it goes.
I like that personally.
Well, it gives you a chance to start a week later and not be so cold early.
Thank you.
It's that first year coming out of COVID in 21. They bumped everything back.
Yeah,
and we started in I want to say April.
Yeah,
and then finished late June. Man, that was the nicest year ever. And then I forgot that we did that. And then the next year, I was freezing my tail off. Man, I was like, what happened this year?
Why is it so much cold? Oh, yeah.
Right. I forgot.
I think we should start in April, personally. Just push it off till April, go an extra couple weeks. It's okay if we go into June.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But
I think I get it though. There's select organizations that start and tournaments that would get all thrown off.
I think it's more just the governing bodies don't want to go too much further past. And I understand.
Yeah.
I get it, but I think that's it more than anything. So,
yeah.
Coach, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed what you heard here today. If you do, please, again, remember, if you want to support us, please subscribe. Hit that like button. That helps the algorithm, all that sort of stuff. Follow us. Share it out with your friends. And always remember, you pitchers, got advice for pitchers?
Oh, man. I think the biggest advice right now is, it's November. What are you throwing for?
Where should they be, Coach?
I think it all gauges. I say that in jest without knowing anything.
No, that's right.
But, I do think that these guys need to make sure they give themselves some rest. You can still do arm activities and arm things and play some catch, but, I've already seen guys up on the mound blowing it out, and I'm like, holy moly, it's November. Wow. But, right now, this is the biggest time to get in the weight room and lift.
Ta-da! That's the consensus.
Yeah. Get in the weight room. Get bigger. Eat food. Find a cheeseburger. Eat it.
I love it. Consensus is be in the weight room no matter what you're playing. Pitcher, hitter, don't matter. Get in the weight room. There you go. It's good advice. Take it from these guys. Folks, have a great day in the Lord. We'll see you next time.